Greetings. Last week, our heroes found work with the distraught Lady Laura. She runs one of the vineyards to the southwest of Salem, and she is looking for her missing son, her son Zachary, who has fallen into a bit of a rebellious phase and has cavorted around the city of Salem, dealing with the most unsavory characters and frequenting the most unsavory of establishments. We catch up with our heroes, leaving the estate, walking down through the vineyards and toward the city of Salem. Martin is chattering away at the plan to Rorik. So, I've been to the Rusty Nail once or twice. I don't quite remember where it is, but I'm sure we can find it. We'll stop there first. We should be able to chat with the tavern keeper, several of the barmaids, any of the hands there, and we'll see if Lord Zachary's been around. And based on what we find out there, we can take next steps. But if there's no good leads from there, then I say we immediately swing by the den. And he holds up the opium pipe that they took out of Lord Zachary's things they found in his room. Now, I don't know how much help the patrons will be, but the proprietor, if he's a regular, would likely know him. So we'll have to talk to him if we can. And Rorik's like, but why'd you bring the pipe, Martin? Martin's like, because you can't just walk into one of these places. You have to, show them that you're, a partaker, a practitioner, a connoisseur, as it were. Members only. And he sort of flips it around in his fingers. So does that mean... not a worry. Look, I'm a chemist. These proprietors of these dens are amazing chemists. And, sometimes you have to sample the merchandise. But all business this time. We are in search of Lord Zachary. Welcome to episode 11, In Search of Lord Zachary. So, I have a vague plan of how this investigation is going to work. I don't know how well it's going to work. So, full transparency, guys, this might suck, and I will probably still post it. Because otherwise we will never get this posted. But the concept of doing sort of an investigation, quote-unquote a mystery. Now, it's not a mystery in the sense that I'm going to be piecing together clues in some deductive masterpiece here. It's probably more of a mystery, police procedural, right? More of a Rockford Files than a Columbo. more dragnet than an Agatha Christie novel. We will go to each interesting location. So I am trying to find. I think you can probably see that. So I've listed the wheres. I have the one who that I know. So those are my suspects roughly. A why might be helpful at some point. And as we go to each place, I am going to essentially be rolling on a little probability table here in terms of were they maybe involved? Do they know anything about the situation or know anything about Lord Zachary? And if they don't, they're not involved and they don't know anything, can they at least point me in the right to somewhere else? So do they have another rumor for me? And to that end, as we go from place to place, all of those chances slightly increase. And so invariably, I am going to find someone that was involved. And then once we determine their involvement, then theoretically things start to come together. Um, Now, that is not to say that the characters will know if they found someone who's involved. We'll see. There'll be a lot of probably investigate, conversation roles, track potentially, stuff like that, and we'll see if this all comes together or not. This is as close to sort of the word salad oracles, I think, as I'm going to come. Is this sort of really rough police procedural procedure, police procedural procedure, right? That I've come up with. So it's not great. It's untested. We'll see how it goes. Let's get on with it. So we came here in the morning, so we have some time. The rusty nail, I'm going to say, is not super difficult to find for our characters. Martin has been up here once or twice. Now, neither of them have navigate. So finding some places is going to be difficult. Streetwise might get them to the den once they can. But we're going to say that Martin at least knows, since he said it in his little opening talk there, we'll say that he has at least a reasonable knowledge of where the rusty nail is, having been a college student up in Salem at some point. A college student who has visited Salem at some point in his past. So they get to the rusty nail, and it is certainly a dive bar. Now, is it open? That's a great question. This early in the day, probably they'll get there around. They'll make sure they get there around lunchtime. Let's give it just even a 50-50. So it is open. It's just opening up, and the reason is because that there's a bunch of laborers and teamsters that work in the surrounding warehouses. And so they do actually serve meals to them in addition to whatever the hell else gets on at night. But in the daytime, perfectly legitimate place. So they go into the rusty nail, and the proprietor who is there waves them in, but probably maybe a little bit on the wary side, seeing that he hasn't seen these guys. He doesn't know who they are. So in places like the south side of the docks, but you are likely to, I suppose it's not too bad, because you are likely to see new folks coming from the docks. So, he'll wave them over to the bar, as it were, ask them what they want. They'll probably order a little bit to drink. So I'll put a little expenses here. But he might need to bribe him. So we have, so they'll ask around. So we actually do have the rusty nail proprietor in our who list. Now, I don't know that he's a suspect, but we'll see. But we do have someone to talk to. So I'm going to give the rusty nail proprietor a very low chance to be involved, super low, because he's not. Because I made him up just for sake of, So no, so he is not involved at all. Now, does he know something about it? He might know something, and he does not know anything. So it's a low chance, 3 in 12 to be involved. I actually made him a 1 in 12. It's a 4 in 12 chance to know something about it if you were in one of these locations. A 7 in 12 chance that you can point me to another, what do you want to say, to another rumor or another person. I rolled 3 5s in a row. So he can point me to someone. So we're going to ask him. And I think he's only actually willing to talk to us because he doesn't know anything. He's like, look, guys. Yeah, I've seen him around. That's absolutely the case. I do. I've seen him around. But I don't know anything about his dealings. I know that he hung around with. So we need a name of. We need the name of a woman, because let's say, so who he points us to is going to be the girl that he hung around with all the time down here on the south side. So he is not a suspect. So we're going to put X's by him. He's not a suspect. But certainly his girlfriend, maybe. I'll put that, maybe that should go in quotes. And we need a name. Tessa. Sure. Yes. Yeah. And let's see. So Tessa is what? I'm rolling plus minus dice just to sort of see. Is she a local girl? Is she right? And she's probably a bit, yeah. So she is not. So she is not from around here. Maybe she's from the north side. Not super rich, but probably, but not what you would consider like a south side, or not a poor laborer. She probably comes from like a merchant family, or a family with just a tiny bit of money, quote unquote middle class. Not that I don't think there's much of a middle class in Bostonia per se, but that's what we're going to say, right? So maybe north side. So again, her being down here, obviously she literally is meeting him. So she doesn't work here, for instance. Nice, nice woman for sure. Yes, very, very polite. That's not necessarily a good thing in these parts, but for a lady not from this neighborhood, she did manage to keep her nose out of trouble. Now, does he know anything about her? Is there something interesting, wacky? Does he know anything else? No, maybe not, right? I'm going to give him a small chance. I rolled 2 dice. That's not great. I'm going to give him, we'll do a D12 here and give him like a 4 and 12 chance again. Since he gave up Tessa here. No. So he doesn't say anything more. Just, do you know where we could find her? Well, you might try back here, lads, if you want to find her again. She's been in looking for him the past 2 nights. All right, so thank you. I suppose they're going to tip him. They'll tip him just a penny, right? 2 pennies, 2 silvers, along with the drinks they bought for 4 bits. So they tip him, and they are on their way, because they're going to have to come back at night. I should just put, instead of north side, come back tonight, right? Done. So the proprietor is off our list, but we do have this woman that is coming in to see him, to find him. Done. Well, it looks like we have a date tonight, Rorik. Looks like it. Do you know where to find this opium den of yours? I'm going to say Martin needs to roll streetwise for that. Let's say a DL10. If not, it is possible they'll have an encounter and maybe get into some trouble there. So he has an 11 streetwise. Oh, -5 is going to suck. That is absolutely not okay. That is not okay, gentlemen. I'm gonna re-roll it. I have an inspiration, if not two. Let's see. What do I have written down on this paper? I have one. Did I use one already? I think I did, right? And I have one for him. Okay, that's fine, but I'll use it. I'm going to use it because I do not want to get it. Rorik seems to have two, and Martin seems to have one. We're going to use it because I don't want to get waylaid or anything because they're going to They're going to Underwood. They're going to the seediest part of town. So we're going to roll that again. Roll to -5 again. What is this with the same number? So they are lost in Underwood. They're lost in Underwood. One or two, they have some kind of rough encounter. 9. They do not have any rough encounter, but they do get lost, and they're going to waste the better part of their day, I think, there. Rolling amongst the docks and the slums and in alleys and literally. So I say that it goes from morning, and then they walk out there, walk back. So it is coming to sunset, and I think Martin was hoping they would be out of Underwood by sunset. So I'm gonna give him just a stupid. We'll give him. So I'll say that maybe he'll ask around and use streetwise effectively. Maybe show the pipe a couple places and see. And that'll give him another streetwise roll, but it will also make them vulnerable to another encounter check. He gets a -2. So I'm going to say no, they don't find anything. So that stinks. They cannot find this den. Oh, and they have an encounter. So at some point, just as the sun is setting, Martin's like, look, we should probably go. I don't know, obviously I don't know my way around here, and we don't know quite enough, and this place is going to be trouble. No, I think someone has figured out that they're looking around for this place, and maybe they think they're just a couple quote unquote like tourists, you know what I mean, like, oh, some rich folk that have decided to come and get high in the opium den, and maybe we can waylay them. No, not wasn't planning to fight, but it looks like our boys are getting potentially jumped here by a couple ne'er-do-wells. Let's go to a new page. So we're going to create a new page. Page created. We will need the grid to be hex. That's fine, right? That's good enough. That's good enough. And what we're going to do is we're going to draw just a pen line, right? Oop, nope, that didn't work. Draw, pen. This is as random as you can get, to be quite honest with you. I am So there we go. So that is sort of, so this is, out here is the street. I need to go find Martin and Rorik. Where the hell did I leave Martin and Rorik? Where did I leave you guys? And the answer is I left you. I don't know where I left you. Actually, I left you in here. Okay. So I'm going to collect you boys. Copy, and I'm going to put them. We're going to put them right here. Oh, nope. Okay, there we go. Everybody's back to full, healed up. And so we'll put them in an alleyway, let's just say. So let's say they're in an alley. Martin's trying to figure out where he is, right? And Rorik is sort of annoyed by now because this has just taken forever and been a bit of a mess. Let's just get some rando assets here. And we'll pull a commoner, and a blacksmith. There you go. So those will be the three bandits, or the three muggers. Right? And they give them the oi, right? They're going to give them just a little bit of and these guys aren't, I mean, they're right, they're not wearing armor. I mean, they're carrying probably mugger, right? We'll give them a nameplate. Why not? Mugger. Mugger 2. And Mugger 3. And of course, we've shrunk Martin and Rorik a little bit to make them smaller, but these muggers were somehow gigantic. You know what I need to do? I need to do a pause this so you didn't have to watch this as I went through all this. But you didn't. I'm terrible. Anyway, so here we go. So we've got these three guys. They sort of turn the corners. All of a sudden, Martin and Rorik are beset upon by these three, and they're like, oh, you know, right, hand over your cash now, and there won't be any problems. And both these guys are like, God damn it, we are carrying our cash. Like, that is dumb as crap, but we are indeed carrying our cash. And I think Martin's like, well, what do we do, man? He gives them a, what do we do? And Rorik's like, rolls tactics. So Martin is going to roll tactics, or Rorik is, I should say. He gets 4 up, so his tactics is a 9. So he has a 9 plus 7 is 16. These guys are not that good. 8, so he wins by 5. So wins by 5. That's going to give him 2 tactics. So he has two chips, 2 rerolls. So that's good. That is good. And so with that tactics, he's going to be like, he sort of almost points over his shoulder. He's like, let's get that one. Because he's like, well, go for the one. Go for that guy. I think they're just going to immediately charge the guy behind them. And so let me quickly get the turn order up. I'm not sure how this is going to go. Add a turn, add a turn, add a turn. So we have all the muggers. I'm going to roll 5d12. And so we have 7, but Rorik is a +2, or +1 or +2. What are you, Rorik? You're a +2. So you have a 9. Martin is a 6, 7. We have a 4, 4, a 2, and an 8. So that's pretty good. And now we're going to sort them. So Rorik is first, and he turns 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he's going to charge that guy. And he will indeed turn on his fight with wild abandon, like right off the bat, and go for it. And he will charge. Now he's a -2 to hit and a -2 defense. Maybe he shouldn't do that right off the bat. Maybe we should see how much damage we do. So let's just take our -2s. And so he's a 9. These guys are probably 8 to 10s, maybe, right? They're street muggers, so they have some combat experience. Let's make them about as good as Martin. So they're 9s typically. So Rorik's 11 is going to drop to a 9. He's even up with the charge. He rolls 1 above, and so he will hit. So Martin will hit. And he does 9 damage in the head. Okay. So not terrible. This guy has 24 hit points. Again, they're ruffians. So that is a wound to the head, and indeed it is a, what do you want to say? It is a 2-die wound. Oh, that's Martin. God damn it. It's Rorik's damage we're worried about. Son of a bitch. That's too bad, because 9 damage is good. He only does 5 damage. Oh, because that's awful. He does it in location 3. So there you go. So he does 5 damage. So that's what we're going with. He does 5 damage in location 3. That's actually not enough to wound him. That sucked. I can't believe I did that. God damn it. I like how gigantic they are, too. Like, I like how they look just ridiculously large. And I actually can't somehow make them smaller. Like, it's not okay. I wonder why that is. Like, why did Martin and Rorik, why are they able to be made smaller? And I'm able to have more control over their crap, but not these guys. So we hit Mugger 3, who now looks tiny, like a child. So we hit Mugger 3. We hit him in the arm. Right at the last minute, he throws his arm up almost in a defensive, thing. And it glances off a little bit, not being the telling blow that we ultimately wanted. He's done. 3 is going to attack back. Oh, he's going to hit. And oh my God, he auto wounds Rorik. Rorik is going to make him re-roll that. We're not taking an auto wound. So we're just going to make him re-roll. And we have tactics. Done. We're going to burn the tactics. That's what it's for. We do still take a gear check, though. That is sort of the house rule because I am awful. I make you take the gear check when you re-roll a 12 or something. You still take the check just to make me happy. So we take the gear check. We burn a tactics. The bad guy re-rolls and he misses this time at -1, and so he whiffs. Done. It's Martin's turn. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Martin can't make it, but he is going to run 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's going to take off and run down toward this mugger 3. The mugger is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we're going to shrink him a tiny bit. And then this guy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So by sort of charging one way, we have at least, right? We've made the battle maybe a little advantageous for us, and we'll see. So that's the end of the round. Rorik is up on round 2. I'm just going to mark it here right now. And what I'm going to say is, I'm going to say, and this is sort of a GM fiat thing, right? I do let it. I actually, when we're at our table game, I am very, very, what do you want to say, liberal about letting people flee a fight. Like I'm all about letting you get out of dodge if you're not directly in combat with someone. So if they can get rid of Mugger 3 this round, I'm going to let them get out of dodge. But if these guys actually engage and take a swing, then they're going to be stuck. They're going to have to maybe fight it out here and get these guys to run. So Rorik is up. Now he's at an 11. He already took his minus to attack. He took his minus to defense. He is now full on. He's got 11s. So he is going to attack here. And he is going to... What's he going to do? He is going to... He will turn on his fight with Mild Abandon because his goal now is to end this as quickly as possible. He wants to end this right now. So he is fighting with Mild Abandon. So it's Rorik FWA. So if you recall, that gives him -2 defenses, +1 damage, +1 armor value. But no minus to hit. But though, yeah, he takes another gear check. Jesus Lord. God, what is going on? Rorik gets really angry and then just totally whiffs that up. And that sucks. Cancel. That sucks. And now the mugger is going to swing back. Now at even odds, but he totally misses. And now Martin is going to step up. Short sword out at the ready. He's going to take a shot, I suppose. But this is the second defense of this guy. Wow. Wow. And that goes all awry. So they cannot get this mugger out of the way. And though I thought they had at least a reasonable strategy, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we're just going to make full moves up. Now our guys are in trouble. In fact, hell, I mean, they'll be jerks and they'll charge because, so we're going to make an attack against Rorik, which is going to hit. And Martin it'll miss against Martin. And then we will face, because we sort of have to face now. And hell, Rorik will have to face. But boy, none of these guys are good. Like, none of these are good. But that's after the fact. This mugger hits him. It is an auto wound if it does damage. These guys are probably pulling 2d6. Hold on 1 second. All right, so I made my mugger damage. Oh, that didn't work. Oh, no. Stop. We need to make a new mugger damage. Hold on. Stop that. That was bad. Bad. Sorry about that. Hold on. Okay. Theoretically, we're back. Sorry, I did Martin. That's not okay. Mugger damage. Done. 6 damage in location 3. It is a 1-die wound. So Rorik does take 6 damage. In location 3. So that's an arm. And so now let's roll. Let's look at that combat table, eh? I'll be back again. Hold on. Pausing a lot. As it turns out, so he slashes him on the arm, and Rorik now has a bleed. Those muggers miss. That's the end of round 2. Rorik is up. So he is going to. So he is allowed to move 1 hex into these zones of controls, but moving away from Mugger 2 requires Mugger 2 to be otherwise engaged, which he is with Martin. So Rorik is going to step up here, face because he's allowed to face on his turn, and he is going to smack Mugger 3 again. Ooh, at a -3. Well, Mugger 3 is a 9 versus his 11. That's going to miss. He's going to use a tactics to make it hit, because you can always add 1. So the tactics is now down to 0. So he uses the tactics. He does hit. Rorik does 12 damage. That's 13 because it's +1 in the 4. So he smashes his arm for 13 points, and that drops him to 6 points. In addition, that's 6, 9, 12. That's a 3-die wound, but as you can see, it's a graze because the first die is a 1. Rorik has been having awful luck. Awful luck. Having said that, I still find it unlikely that Mugger 3 is interested in losing his life. So I'm going to give him, I'm going to say on a 1 and 4, 1 through 4, he stays because they're still winning the fight right now, as far as I'm concerned. But on a 5 and up, I think he goes. I think he takes off. 7. I think he's going to take off. And he bolts into the street. And I think, with his arms seriously gashed, but strangely not in bad shape. Rorik does lose a point of damage because he is bleeding on his turn. He bleeds, and now he has to roll 1d6. On a 5 and 6, his bleed gets worse. On a 1, it goes away. 3, nothing happens to his bleed. So that's Mugger 3's turn. It is Martin's turn now. Well, I think so. I am going to give Rorik. I do have to give Rorik a check in his axes. So I'm doing that here. Did Martin hit yet? I don't even think that Martin has hit anyone yet. It says Martin hits, but that was me screwing up the macros. Yeah, so he hasn't even hit anybody yet. So Martin is going to reach into his alchemist satchel. He's going to pull out an ice vial, and he's going to use an ice vial. Not that doesn't make this a super expensive Mugger fight, but he's going to literally just toss the ice vial with his throw of 11 into the Mugger's face. So right next to him, that's actually a good move. So we will roll. He gets a -3. So the Mugger's dodge. So he's a non-sword. What's the chance his dodge is actually very low? So I didn't write the Muggers up ahead of time. I'm sorry. I'm just giving them roughly equivalent stats. I will give the mugger on a 1 and 2, his dodge is 7. 8 on a 3 and 4. 5 and 6, his dodge will actually be a 9, and Martin will miss. He's a dodgy mugger, let's say. So we'll give it a chance since I didn't say beforehand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He gets a 1, so his dodge is 7. So Martin will actually hit him with the chill. That is 2d6 damage. It's only 4 damage. So the mugger only takes 4 points of damage. But I believe the mugger has to roll against chill. Ice Vial, chill is toughness 12. So the mugger will roll. On his toughness, he fails. So he is chilled for 1d4, I think, plus 1 round. 1d4 plus 1. So we're going to roll a d4 plus 1. That is 2. So he's chilled for 2. So we'll do chill for 2 rounds. If you recall, chill is minus 2 damage. So mugger is going to attack, and then the chilled mugger. So the mugger attacks Rorik. He misses. The mugger attacks Martin. He is also going to miss Martin. That's the end of round 3. Both Rorik and Martin have to roll. Fatigue. I don't know what I just did, but I did something unfortunate. Let's roll 2d12. Martin is first, and he will fatigue. So we'll put an F by him there just because. Rorik will not fatigue. It's the top of the round. Rorik is up. Mugger 3 is out. So Rorik's going to go. He is going to step down here and face, and sensing weakness, he is going to hold his second half phase until Martin goes. So he becomes a 6. Martin will go and stab at his guy. 9 on 9. He does hit the mugger for 3 damage. He hits him low in the for 3. That drops him to 17. Still not that big a deal. Now Rorik is going to go with his second half phase. And he is going to... he has to hit him first. He does hit him, because the guy's on his second defense now. And he will damage him. 12 damage, 13, 14 damage. This guy is going to drop like a stone here. He does 12 damage, 13 because he's 13 because he is fighting with Wild Abandon, 14 because it's the head. He does not concuss him. It is a graze, strangely enough. So he smacks this guy hard enough to slam him into the wall. But this dude is still... But he doesn't quite catch him with the flange of the mace, right? Probably even the handle of the mace hits his shoulder first, and it sort of bounces up into his head, so it takes most of the force of the blow away, so it doesn't crush his skull, and instead glances off his head at an awkward angle, still knocking him nearly senseless. He has 3 hit points left. Mugger's going to go on Rorik, and he's going to miss badly. And I think that might be it. These guys might have decided that this is a little too much, right? So let's make the roll again. And in this case, 9. I think they're both going to take off. No one wants to die, fight to the death. Rorik does have to roll for bleed again, and he does take another hit point. And we're going to roll 1d6. 5 and 6, it gets worse. 2 does not get worse. These guys take off. Martin is breathing heavy. Rorik holds his arm out. Can you give me a little help? And Martin will roll a medical check. -2, but that's still probably good enough. What's his medical? Our medical is 9. Technically he needs. Technically it's I think an 8 to treat that bleed. So he's gonna. I mean, he treats the bleed. Absolutely, he spends a round just doing medical. He will treat the bleed, but he doesn't give any hit points back. Is the problem? So he marks off a med kit. He has 2 left med charges. And Rorik's not going to die of bleeding, but he is going to not get the hit points back. They can shake off. So Rorik can shake off a D8 because technically that was. Well, I don't think it was all wound damage, right? Oh, it was just the one shot was an auto wound. I should have wrote that down. A little clunky. Yeah, it was 6 points of damage. He took 2 bleed. He can shake off the bleed. And he does, and he gets 2 hit points back. So he's up to 34. The rest will have to either be physicianed or whatever, and they're not going to do that now. They instead are going to flee from. So he will wrap his arm so it's not this gaping wound as they walk through town again. But they will then escape Underwood, head back into the south side, go to the Rusty Nail, and try to meet up with Tessa, the north side girlfriend, maybe, of Lord Zachary, but we aren't sure. So that evening, in fact, they stumble into the Nail, a little bit worse for the wearer, tired now because of their the fight. You know, that adrenaline wears off, and they probably could even use a drink. And so they go in, they'll order 2 more drinks, maybe go up to the barkeeper again. You remember us? I remember you. I remember you. Asking questions. Tipped. Martin said, well, tipped well. And the bartender's like, you tipped. you tipped. You didn't tip well. But you tipped. Can you point out, is the young lady here? So I'm going to say there is a very likely chance that she is here. So let's give it 4 and up. Oops, I don't know what I rolled. I rolled a D6. Oh, we are way, way behind. I rolled a 12. She is here. Yeah, she's right over there. And he literally points down the bar, and she is sitting there looking anxiously, and she does. She is dressed in, what do you want to say? Not noble finery. She's obviously not a noble woman, but she is obviously not. She's probably better off than 90% of the people in the place. She looks a little closer to, say, what Martin might look like. But she does not look nervous, right? We're just gonna say, right, she doesn't look nervous. So that sort of makes us wonder, who the heck is this, right? That she is not. I gotta find my little sheet of people here. Come back tonight. She is better off than most of the other clientele. She does not look nervous to be here. Why is that? Right? We don't know. So they're going to approach her, and they're going to go and talk to Tessa. So we're going to roll now. Is she involved somehow? And that is going to easily be a 3, and that's a 3 and 12. So that's the base chance for her to be involved in the disappearance directly. Now, since she's looking for him, I don't know, right? But let's take let's take a shot. Let's see what we think that means here. I'm gonna move that off and move that over here. You can't see it anymore, but I can. So let me roll the d12 here. 9. So it doesn't seem like she's involved. Oh god. Okay, so I need. So we had. So I'm just going to put it here, right? I'm just going to put it right here. I'm going to say she's not involved. Okay, so she's not involved, but does she know something? Let's say it is likely she knows something now, right? Because it's normally a 4 and 12. Since the bartender didn't know anything, I upped that chance by a couple. So now it's right because as they ask more people, there's more chance of the person having some knowledge. She doesn't know anything. So it was like a 6 in 12 chance, and she doesn't know. No knowledge. Okay. Can she point us in the right direction? Can she point us to the next thing? And that is a straight 7 in 12 chance at all times. So she does have a rumor, right? So she doesn't know anything. And then I have a weird roll that if all of those fail, there's still like a 1 in 12 chance that she just hit it so well, but she actually is sinisterly involved somehow. But so we go up, and Martin's like, Tessa? He's like, and again, right? She's not nervous. She has an air of confidence about her that I said is a little bit off-putting given where she is and what she, because Martin and Rorik are nervous being in this dive bar, even though right, that they don't know anybody in. So she's who are you? Do I know you? No, madam, you don't know us. This is Rorik. My name is Martin. We understand that you have been here looking for young Lord Zachary. Well, who told you that? And I mean, they look over everybody at that point. I think all 3 of them look over at the bartender, who looks back and he gives like a what? What? Please, we are here on behalf of Lady Laurel, his mother, and we're also looking for him. We're quite concerned. She is quite concerned. We're concerned, and I take it you're also concerned. So, I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna roll converse, and I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna roll converse, and I'm gonna roll maybe persuade. So Martin is going to roll converse and persuade. We'll roll both of those at a DL 10 against her, right? This sort of a sense motive kind of deal. Persuade is, hey, can you help us out, right? Both of those are going to succeed. So I think Martin understands that she it feels that she's telling the truth, that she doesn't know anything. So she has no information about it. And the reason she's been coming here, has been to look for him, of course, but also to question local Teamsters or dock workers? She says, yes, I. Now, so okay, so let's see, what's the nature of their relationship? So, how serious was their relationship? And I'm just going to roll a skill roll, plus minus, right? Let's just go. Oh, okay, so it was a little serious. They were on the. So, how long have you known him? So, several months. So they've been going out several months, right? They have been dating several months, getting a little serious. Um, and I think Martin would all and Zachary would always would take her on, to his gambling, his gambling sort of meetups on the north side, the more well-to-do ones. And then they slummed it here on the south side a little bit. And her rumor is he was always getting into scrapes with the locals, and she is looking, and that's why they should ask some local Teamsters or dock workers. So Z was always getting into scrapes with Teamsters and dock workers. And so that's who she thinks, like that's who she's trying to, and that's why she's here, right? She is looking for him. She is also questioning those folks and trying to see if any of them could be involved. She has not gotten anywhere. So I think at that point, Rorik is going to go, all right, good enough. You leave them to me. Just keep an eye on on Lady Tessa here. So Rorik's going to go, and he's going to carouse and find himself hopefully with some locals and dock workers or teamsters or such, and that's probably fairly easy here. So we're going to make a skill check, and Rorik does, and he really he's going to go. He's going to go, and he'll spend a few bucks, right? He'll spend like $5 here, which is a fair bit of drinking. Like a drink probably costs 2 bits, so 2/10 of a penny. So he can have 10 drinks. So he goes to a couple tables and he's laughing it up with those guys, and he's gonna go ingratiate himself with some of the Teamsters / dock workers. In the meantime, Martin's gonna go, so don't. So it's a little bit of a sensitive question. Don't take it the wrong way, madam. But would you happen to know? And then he pulls out the opium pipe a little, and he's like, "Did Lord Zachary ever take you to this establishment?" And I'm going to say it is less likely that that's the case. Let's say double digits on a D12. Maybe there was a reason why she knows where this is. No. She says, no, goodness no. And did she know? Yes or no? Let's just make a flat out no, she did not know. So she's like, oh. And Zachary would never get into drugs like that. And Okay, so that's interesting, right? She says he would never get into anything like that. So hold on, I'm gonna keep. So this is getting long here. So we're gonna go. Okay, so um, so she says she does not know the den. Z quote Z would never get into that. Is she right? I'm going to say on a double digits. I'm going to say that it is likely that he did, but on double digits, she's right, and actually, our rumor is incorrect that he was not into it. And then why does he have this darn pipe? So 10, 11, 12. We have a mystery here. No, she's wrong. He is indeed, but he was at the den. So Rorik is talking to the doc, right? He's hanging around, and maybe there's, are some dockers here, some teamsters. There are probably more warehouses here than dock workers. So probably a bunch of the warehouse workers are here. And so he is going to carouse and hang out a little bit with them, maybe gamble a bit, and just get ingratiate with the so the next two here, we're gonna add them above a local teamster. So a packer, right? A guy who packs crates and carts, right? Lifts heavy stuff, and we'll call him Tiny. But he's a big man. He's not tiny. That is an ironic name for certain. So finally, right? So he's talking to Tiny here, and he will indeed. So let's take a quick gander. Is Tiny involved? I'm going to say, even though normally this chance would go up since we've talked to someone not involved, still not a great chance that Tiny's involved in any of this mess, right? Or a local teamster. There you go. That's our representative of the teamsters. Is Tiny here? But is Tiny involved in any of this mess? No, looks like not. Does he know anything? And now this is actually a fairly high roll. Oh, he does know something. So Tiny is not involved. So what we're going to say is that we're talking to a bunch of the Teamsters, right? And maybe we ask around a little bit. So, oh yeah. You see, and he actually points out Tessa, and he's like, yeah, do you see that one? Yeah, she's quite the catch. What's she doing here? This isn't her kind of place. And then they go, oh yeah. She's in here all the time with that with the Lord, with his lordship, right? And they're sort of saying that snidely. Yeah, he's always in here throwing his money around, acting like he's better than us, like he owns the place. We showed him a couple times, right? That kind of thing. Oh, what do you mean, right? Because he's trying to see that they haven't dumped him in a crate somewhere and shipped him off to Ismith or to Cobrat lands. Yeah, just got. I think I busted his nose once, that kind of thing. Gave him quite the shiner, right? Twisted his arm until he sent him home to his mama crying, that kind of thing. I don't think that he thinks. I don't think Rorik gets the idea that so they're not involved, but he does know. What does he know? So first thing is, we do roll on his reluctance to talk to us now. Because he might, so it's a D20. 5. He is reluctant to talk to us because he fears retribution. Nice. Okay. Now the question there is, oh, is so while we're talking, Tiny here, so we're talking to a bunch of the Teamsters. Tiny here is getting nervous. Now the question is, does Rorik notice? Or does Martin maybe notice? So let's give Rorik a chance. His bounty hunter is 8. He has bounty hunter profession. Um, but he has a track of 10. That is his search roll. We'll give him the search roll. But since he is busy talking, let's say that is a not an easy roll, probably something close to maybe a 12. So he's down by 2. And he doesn't notice as Tiny gets a little nervous. And once Tiny realizes who they're talking about, um, once Tiny realizes who they're talking about, Tiny starts to get nervous, and he is looking to make his way out of the place. Martin will roll his investigate. And he isn't going to succeed either. So they're both going to miss that. They're both going to miss that clue right now. Rorik does have inspiration. Martin does not have inspiration. He blew his inspiration in the fight. Shouldn't have blown. I should have blown tactics. Darn it! But we did have to blow our tactics as well. So I'm going to re-roll inspiration. So I'm going to re-roll for Rorik, and we still don't make it. So Tiny is on our list. The girlfriend we don't think is on our list, but Tiny is a suspect. I'm going to put sus. Right? He's. We don't think. I mean, obviously, we know he's not involved because we rolled not involved. She is probably not a sus. Pact. I'm saying sus like what I'm 12 or something. um, so Tiny is a suspect, and Tiny slips out of it. He slipped out. He's reluctant to talk to us, and he slipped out, and we both missed it. Slipped away, and no one noticed. So what I'm going to say is I am going to give the rest of the Teamsters their ability to. I'm going to give them a 1d12 roll. Do they lead me to someone? And they don't. Do they know that Tiny knows something? Let's just random roll here. Yes, no. They do know. They absolutely know that Tiny saw something or knows something. They absolutely do. So the rest of the Teamsters also know, or they know that Tiny knows something. They are protecting him, right? So they're all giving. I mean, you know, little cop to all they will cop to. So there you go. That's what we've written there. All they're going to cop to is that, yeah, we beat him up a couple times, sent him home packing to his mama. And maybe they vaguely get the idea that they know something, or that they're not letting on or something. But I don't know. I think they blew it. I think they come to a dead end momentarily. And so their first day of investigation comes up a little bit blank. The reason that we write that Tiny is a suspect is if a name comes up again, we will tie back to him. And so it might turn out that he is involved. He's just not, right as far as we know, or that someone might mention him. Oh, yeah, that guy that works in the warehouse. He saw that. He saw that. Ask him, like that kind of thing, right? But no one's doing that right now. His buddies are protecting him, and so we are right now walking out of that tavern with no more answers. I think as we walk out, so we'll walk out with Tessa, and she, of course, is still convinced. Like, she's the one who has the rumor. So she's convinced that those guys know something, right? And so maybe we will be able, maybe we'll go and try to, I don't know, um, go to some of the warehouses or maybe down to the docks. But I don't know how I don't know. I don't know that that's. So I think Tessa is convinced they know something or did something, but the boys aren't convinced. Right? I think that's where we leave it. And as they walk out, so they walk out of there, and they're like, "Well, madam, we're going to escort you back to your place." And let's see, how does she react? So I'm sort of thinking that she is frustrated. She's frustrated with herself. She is frustrated with them, right? Because she hasn't, she hasn't found anything in the 3 days. They haven't found anything. And I think that is she going to, want to, instead of going to that bar day after day and hoping that he shows up, because she's probably convinced he isn't going to show up, is she going to try to tag along with these two, which would be awful, by the way. So let's say that a 1 through 5, she decides that she's going to, I'm coming with you. 5. So she stomps her foot. No, there's no need to take me home. I'm coming with you. I'll pay for my own room, but I'm coming with you. You're not. I'll. Madam, there is no need. We can believe me. We'll be better. We will be better off doing this. We'll be faster, and more likely to succeed doing this without you. And she's like, bullshit. I just saw you in there. You didn't learn any more than I did. And the boys, I think, are obviously don't look. I think they do a conflab. Confab. I think so. What they're going to do, they'll let her tag along for the time being because she's going to at least know the city better than them. So she'll be able to navigate the city for them if they need to. Now, obviously, she can't navigate to the den or whatever, but she'll be able to do a slightly better job navigating the city. And that might get them to some of these places. And she might know a couple of the folks that he's dealt with in the past. So, for instance, you mentioned that he likes to gamble. Right. She took me to his gambling deals, right? So that will indeed lead us to maybe a third place, which will be the casino. And maybe there is, so that's on the north side, or we'll say lakeside. So the ritzy place. And maybe there's a gambler or a proprietor. Look, I'll take, so she goes, look, I can get you into the casinos that he liked to I can get you talking to the people he gambled with. There's got to be something there, right? And they go, you know what? Miss Tessa, you're correct. Why don't you come with us? We'll keep you close. Unless in case this actually is something beyond what we think it is, we'll keep you safe. And tomorrow, if we get nothing from the den or we can't find it, then we will take you up and on that offer to get into the casino. And then I think the only other thing that they might do is we'll let Rorik make another corrals check, a fairly easy one, which I think he'll pass, and then he can get them to the den because the Teamsters here, one or more of them has been there in the past, and we'll just say that way they can get there and not be lost tomorrow. So they do learn the location of the den. They have access to this casino potentially. So they have 2 more leads to follow up. But tonight they came away a little bit cold, even though one guy slipped away from them. And so that'll end it for tonight, I think. Thank you very much. And we will get back to this investigation. We'll get back to this investigation next episode. So please like and subscribe. Leave a comment. Is this investigation working for you? I'm very interested to see how this plays out and how this sounds to you and how it works. This, like I said, this is as close to sort of the typical Oracle-based gameplay that we probably are going to get, because none of this investigation is actually planned out. It is happening as per the die rolls, and then we're just stringing shit together. So please tell me if that's working for you. Please like and subscribe. I just learned that coffee or Ko-Fi is actually pronounced Ko-Fi, like no fee. And I do have a Ko-Fi page. It's kofi.com/cmagoun, CMAGOUN. If you would like to check it out. There's nothing on the page right now, but it is a way to support the channel and these series and to work us toward some tabletop gaming on an actual tabletop with lights and cameras and so on. So I will talk to you all later, but don't feel obliged, of course. Everything is free and will be, I think, in perpetuity, but we'll see what goes on and what happens next episode. Thank you very much. I appreciate you listening and watching.